everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Beauty by AJ, and today's video is going to be just a list of things that nobody tells you about pregnancy. So if you want to see like the things that I've experienced that I did not know I was going to be going through, make sure you keep on watching. And if you are new to my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the notification button so you can be updated whenever I upload a new video. So if you have not already been on my channel, you see I have ads now because I have officially reached 1,000 subscribers. I don't know if I have, there goes the pregnancy brain. I don't know if I've addressed this already, but thank you so much to all those that have subscribed and have followed me on this journey and will continue to follow me on this journey. I am very excited to see where YouTube takes me and to see like my growth throughout YouTube. So thank you so much for supporting me and continue to support your girl because Lord knows I need it. So to get started, I have a list in front of me so I don't get off track. But the first thing that nobody really tells you about pregnancy is that morning sickness is real and it doesn't always happen in the morning. So for me, you know, one of the first symptoms of pregnancy is morning sickness, and for me I actually did experience morning sickness, and my morning sickness happened at nighttime. So it really happened at like 7 o'clock at night and lasted, you know, throughout the night. And it's really hard because you want to eat dinner and everything, but when you feel queasy and nauseous and everything, it's hard to eat and it's hard to sleep. So that's something I experienced, and I didn't think I would experience it. I thought it would be in the morning, but it was really at nighttime for me. But nevertheless, something that helped with morning sickness is these things called Preggie Pop Drops. I got them off Amazon. I'm not sure how much they cost. I think they were like $10, $15, but they actually did help me. And they are just like little candies. They taste like something familiar. I don't remember what it is because I haven't had them in so long, but they did taste familiar. But it was good. They weren't nasty or anything, and they actually did help with the morning sickness. So at least there's something to make you feel better. But I didn't know that morning sickness could happen at any time throughout the day. Another thing that I've actually recently experienced in October, during my second trimester, I got really sick, like was coughing up yellow mucus. Sometimes it was green mucus and it was like thick. And I had like a runny nose, I had a sore throat. I really thought I had the flu, and I went to the doctor and everything. And I never go to the doctor, so I really felt really bad and horrible, like my body ached and everything. And all they did was tell me I had an upper respiratory infection, which is just a fancy name for a common cold. So when you're sick during pregnancy, you feel it 10 times worse because you can't take any medicine, and it's like your body's trying to fight off all these bacterias, but it needs a little extra help. And I didn't know that like when you're pregnant and you're sick, you really can't take anything. So all the doctors told me was that I needed to get some rest, drink lots of fluids like tea, you know, water, stuff like that. And he said I could use nasal spray, but I mean, that's not really going to help with a sore throat. But, you know, just simple things like that. But I actually couldn't take like Robitussin or anything like that. So that's something I didn't know, that you can't take any medicine. Another thing that I did not know is that when you are pregnant, you only get 2 ultrasounds. 2. So you really only get to see your baby twice before it's born. And that's if you have a healthy pregnancy. So the first ultrasound you get, of course, is when you first go and you test positive for pregnancy, and they show you, you know, your little baby fetus that you really can't even tell what it is. And then the second ultrasound you get is at 20 weeks, just to see the development. By that time, they can tell you whether you're having a boy or a girl, yada, yada, yada. And that's it. Like, unless you have something like gestational diabetes or twins or, you know, something that's rare, you will not get another ultrasound after that. Now, luckily for me, I got 3 ultrasounds, only because during my 20-week one, the way my daughter was sitting, you really couldn't see her face or anything, so they couldn't tell if she had any deformities or anything like that. So they really couldn't measure and like check off that everything was okay. So they had to schedule me for another one, which I was happy about. But other than that, I haven't had another ultrasound since. And if you think about it, you get your, your last ultrasound is at 20 weeks. So it's like you don't get to see your child again until it's born. And right now I'm 35 weeks. So imagine you haven't seen your child in 15 weeks. Like, you don't even know what it looks like anymore at this point, because the baby looks totally different than it did at 20 weeks. Another thing that I wanted to address is that at almost every appointment you get blood drawn. And I hate needles. I mean, I don't really care so much about blood, but it's the fact that you're sticking something in my skin. It kind of hurts. And then you're taking my blood out my skin. It just doesn't sit well with me. It makes me nauseous, and I'm not with it. So that's something that might have been helpful to know before pregnancy. When I went to my first appointment, they were drawing blood. They didn't tell me they were going to be taking 13 vials of blood, first of all. But they were taking blood, and I like couldn't watch because I knew I was probably going to throw up or like feel really nauseous. So I was just sitting there with my head down, and the lady was like, "Oh, you'll get used to it. By the end of the pregnancy, you'll be a pro at this." And I'm like, "What do you mean? I didn't know you get blood drawn at almost every appointment." And that's one thing about pregnancy I will not miss, because I don't do needles. That's part of the reason why I'm thinking about not getting the epidural, because I don't do needles at all. And that's a thick, long needle that has to go on your back, and no, I'm not with it. So you do get blood drawn at almost all of your appointments. Another thing that I didn't know is that you have to pee all the time. Now, I've heard that pregnant people, use the bathroom a lot, but I didn't realize the extent that it was at. Literally, I can pee and then 20 minutes later have to pee again. And I know this might be a little TMI, but that's crazy. Like, before I was pregnant, I could drink something right before I go to sleep and be good throughout the night. Like, I could, just wake up in the morning and go use the bathroom. Now, I don't even drink anything before I go to sleep, and I have to pee like 3 times throughout the night. And it's really aggravating because, you're trying to get as much sleep as you can, especially since I'm going to give birth soon. I'm trying to get as much sleep as I can, knowing that, when the baby comes, I'm probably not going to get sleep. And it's like, I can't stay asleep because every 2 hours I have to use the bathroom. And it's like, I don't even know what I'm peeing out at this point, because I'm not drinking anything, because I don't want to have to pee throughout the night. So it's very crazy how much you have to use the bathroom. And like, literally, I'll wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and have to pee. And I'm like going to the bathroom with my eyes closed because I don't want to be fully awake, because then I'm not going to be able to go to sleep again. It's really crazy how much you pee when you're pregnant. Like, when I tell you, you pee so much, you pee so much. And my next tip, this is tip number 7, I believe, is you can have horrible leg cramps. I've never heard anybody talk about leg cramps when you're pregnant. And maybe it's not just me, because I talked to one other pregnant person like a few weeks ago, and they said they experienced the same thing. So it's not just me. But when you're pregnant, so normally they say you're supposed to drink about a gallon of water. Normally they say you're supposed to drink about a gallon of water a day. And before I was pregnant, I was drinking about maybe 3 to 4 on average water bottles a day. That's not a gallon, but that was enough for me to be like up and active and not feel like I'm dehydrated. But when you're pregnant, because you have to have lots of fluids in your body for you and your child, you're supposed to drink 2 gallons a day. At least that's what my provider told me. And I asked him, I said, I literally get severe leg cramps, like Charlie horses, not even kidding. And it wakes me up out of my sleep, because it's like, you can literally, like, if you look at it while it's happening, you can literally see my muscles squeezing so tight. And at the time when this really happened, it was during my 2nd trimester, and I was working as a server. So of course, being on my feet all the time, doing a whole bunch of walking around the restaurant, and just really not taking in as much water as I should have, because I was so busy at the restaurant. I kept getting these really bad leg cramps, and that's something that I was not expecting. And you really can't get rid of a leg cramp except massage it out. But who wants to do that when you're like, it's 2 o'clock in the morning and it wakes you up out of your sleep? And literally, leg cramps happen to me like 2 to 3 times a week during my 2nd trimester. Now it doesn't happen as often, because I found a trick to get rid of them. If this does happen to you, a little trick is to flex your foot forward. So like flex your foot toward your face, and it kind of stretches that muscle out for you and gets rid of the Charlie horse. But it was so painful, and like not to the point where you want to cry, but to the point where it's so uncomfortable and literally wakes you up out of your sleep. So that is something that I will not miss during pregnancy, but nobody told me about. Something that I've recently been experiencing are night sweats and nightmares. So I don't know if they're like hand in hand or what, but it's happened twice so far. It happened today or last night, and then it happened a few weeks ago, where I've been having these horrible nightmares. And when I wake up, I'm literally covered in sweat. Like, you can feel the sweat off me. It's not like I'm just hot. Like, you can feel the sweat on me. And then I can literally feel my child kicking me. Like, I don't know if she's kicking me to wake me up or she's kicking me because it's hot, but I can feel her kicking me inside my stomach, and like, it's really crazy. Like, it won't even be hot. Like last night when I woke my husband up to tell him that I was literally sweating, the fan was on in our room, and he went downstairs to get me another fan to blow in my face because I was literally sweating, like dripping sweat. It was crazy. But that apparently that's a symptom that sometimes people go through. So that's another thing I definitely won't be missing, but that's something that actually happens. Another thing that is kind of a myth, people say when you're pregnant you glow. I think in the beginning, the first trimester, I kind of glowed, but now I just feel so dirty and so flaky and just gross. Like, my skin is not how it was at all before I was pregnant. Before I was pregnant, I finally got a little routine going for my skin. If you want to see those videos, I'll link them up above. But I had finally got a little regimen going with my skin. My skin was glowing, my skin looked good, and now it's dry, it's flaky, it's just horrible, and I hate it, and I cannot wait until my skin goes back to normal. But that's something people don't tell you, like that your skin doesn't actually glow. Like, half the time it's probably just because I'm sweating that my skin looks like I'm glowing. I have been blessed enough to not have any stretch marks, and as thankful and grateful and lucky as I am, I have had skin tags for some reason. And if you don't know what skin tags are, you've probably seen them on old people, and I hate to like point it out, but like old people usually have like little extra skin growths on their neck or something. And for some reason I have this growing now. I had one on my cheek, and it was just weird because it was so oddly placed, and it was like, it's really small. I ended up just clipping it off with a nail clipper because that's not gonna be on my face. But like, I've had some on other parts of my body. Like, I think I had one on my arm, and it's just like weird places. Like, it doesn't make sense. I don't know why this happens. At least I can cut it off though. Like, it's not a big deal, but that's something I didn't know you can get when you're pregnant. Like, who thinks they're gonna get a skin tag when they're pregnant? Okay, my next one is that food aversions are real. So we always hear about all these crazy cravings that pregnant people have, like ice cream and pickles, and you know, crazy things that most pregnant people probably don't even eat. But you rarely hear about food aversions. And the first time I had a food aversion was like when I first found out I was pregnant. My mom made some homemade guacamole, and it smelled so good, it looked so good, and I tried it and I threw up because it's the texture and everything. It just isn't for me right now. And I'm somebody that has like a wide variety. Like, my palate, like I can eat almost anything or try anything. And I like weird things. Like, I like sushi, I like Brussels sprouts, I like rice, cauliflower. Like, I like a lot of vegetables. I like a lot of, you know, things that some people that are picky eaters will not eat. And now all I can eat is like french fries and chicken nuggets and like kid foods, because my food aversions are so bad. And I really hate it because, like, even chicken, I can't eat chicken how I want to. Like, I have to eat like fried foods, like chicken nuggets. I can't eat fried chicken because the texture, it just doesn't sit well with me. And it's really a lot not about the taste, it's about the texture of things. What's something else that I could eat? Ooh, that I could eat before, but I can't eat now. I don't know, but there's like oh, seafood. I love seafood, Normal me, not pregnant me, could tear up some seafood. Now, no, it makes me nauseous. Like, I'll still eat it, but it makes me not, the smell of it makes me nauseous. Even like, just, I had some pasta yesterday with shrimp in it. I didn't eat not one of the shrimp because I don't like the texture. So just knowing that food aversions are real, like if you're not pregnant or you're like in the early stages and you haven't experienced this, please enjoy it while you can, because I really hate not being able to eat how I want to eat. Like, I have to eat like a little kid, or like be so picky when I eat. Like, I'm literally eating Chef Boyardee's right now when I could be eating something way better. And that's something I definitely won't miss. And then my last thing, nobody tells you that you cannot breathe when you are pregnant. Like, you know, you always think of pregnant people, you know, being tired all the time or just not being able to like lift things, heavy things like that. You literally cannot breathe when you are pregnant. Like, you're because of, you know, the baby is so big and all that placenta, amniotic fluid, all that takes up so much space. Like, you know, your lungs can't really expand as much as they could if you weren't pregnant. When I tell you I cannot breathe, like, I'll literally walk down the stairs and my husband will be like, "Are you okay? Like, why are you breathing so hard?" Like, I cannot breathe. Or like right now when I'm talking, I'll get winded and it's like all I'm doing is talking. Like, literally you feel so out of breath from everything. It's really crazy. And that's something I won't miss either. Like, I will not miss any of those things. But these are things that I did not know before I was pregnant. And people really don't tell you. You just go through them and experience them. And then you're like, oh my gosh, is this normal? Like, hopefully this video helps somebody that is, you know, in the early stages of their pregnancy or just going through their pregnancy and, you know, want to know if they're the only ones that feels like this. Because when I tell you, I thought it was just me, but I had to do like a lot of research on a lot of things. And I hope you find this video very informational. And if you like it, make sure you thumb it up. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or if you want to leave some other things you've experienced that you've never even heard of until you got pregnant, leave it down below. Help somebody else. And as always, if you have not already subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification button so you can be updated when I upload a new video. And thank you guys so much for watching. I know this video is very long, but thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my video next week.